opinion on Lunchly. Yeah, I only found out about it yesterday. Like, you can tell none of them are parents. Because you should not feed your kids that garbage. Like, what the f?
How do you go from dropping some of the highest grossing creator products on the internet to releasing one of the biggest flops in YouTube history? That's not just a bad week at the office. That's a full-blown brand crisis. We're not talking about a slow seller or a small disappointment. This turned into a reputational spiral so loud that other YouTubers, concerned parents, and even licensed doctors were calling it out within hours of launch. That's exactly what happened with Lunchly. After stacking huge wins with chocolate bars and energy drinks, MrBeast, KSI, and Logan Paul decided to link up. On paper, the move looked smart. Feastables was printing money. Prime was everywhere. Grocery stores, gas stations, even school coolers. If candy and energy drinks could dominate, why not slide into the lunch game too? The plan was to tap into the $1.8 billion Lunchables lane and flip it with Lunchly, branding it as a better-for-you option. Sounds like an easy win, right? But instead of taking off, it stumbled almost instantly. Unlike Prime or Feastables, which rode hype and loyal fans straight to massive sales, Lunchly hit a brick wall of doubt the moment it touched shelves. The excitement didn't build, the backlash did. It was trending, but not for breaking records, for catching backlash. Instead of calming the storm, the trio's reactions only made people zoom in harder and ask more questions. To really get why Lunchly blew up online, you have to look at the names behind it. MrBeast, Logan Paul, KSI. These aren't small creators. Each one commands a massive audience. Each one already proved they can move real products at serious scale. Feastables reportedly pulled in over $250 million in revenue in 2024 alone. Prime crossed the billion-dollar annual revenue mark. These were not random side hustles or quick cash grabs. These were heavyweight consumer brands with real distribution and marketing power behind them. So when they linked up for a joint food product marketed toward kids and families, attention was instant. The spotlight was locked in from day one. But here's where it got tricky. None of these creators built their names around nutrition. MrBeast was known for chocolate bars and a delivery-only fast food brand. Logan and KSY's flagship drink had caffeine levels similar to multiple cans of soda. Health-first branding was never really their lane. Now they were stepping into a space connected to parents, schools, and children's food standards. That's a whole different arena with way tighter scrutiny. When Lunchly officially dropped on September 16, 2024, the message was bold and repeated everywhere. This was healthier, this was smarter, this was a better alternative to Lunchables. The website came out swinging with flashy side-by-side comparison charts. It highlighted real cheese, lower sugar, and even added electrolytes like that alone sealed the deal. Influencers kept repeating the phrase "better for you" over and over. But once people zoomed in on the actual nutrition label, the doubts started stacking up fast. Sure, a few numbers looked slightly improved, but at the end of the day, it was still a processed, shelf-stable meal sitting in a box. Critics wasted no time pointing out that adjusting a couple stats doesn't magically transform something into a balanced lunch. Better, compared to something else, doesn't automatically mean genuinely healthy.
Kids need energy to function, and calories give them that energy. Lunchly turkey contains only 230 calories, which would mean a kid would need to eat about 2.7 portions to consume enough calories.
And if they did that, they'd get nearly 1,300 milligrams of sodium,
which is also significantly over the USDA standards. So they'd be either under-eating calories or overeating sodium.
That nuance mattered, and people caught it quickly. One of the first big creators to publicly push back was Dan TDM. After watching the reveal, he tweeted, "What happened to YouTubers? Man, I can't not say anything anymore. This is selling stuff for the sake of making money? Simple. How does this benefit their fans? This is selling crap to kids who don't know better than to the people who are selling it to them. Do better." That message spread fast. He wasn't talking as a nutrition scientist breaking down ingredients. He was speaking as a father and as someone with a huge young audience. His issue wasn't about macros or tiny label details. It was about responsibility, and that hit hard. Thousands agreed. Other creators jumped in too, and even PewDiePie subtly backed the criticism, which only amplified the pressure. Smaller channels picked it up and pushed it even further. What started as a basic product comparison turned into a much bigger debate. Should creators with mostly young audiences be marketing processed lunch kits as better for you in the first place? That question hit different once it spread across timelines and comment sections. This was no longer about taste or packaging. It was about influence. Then a doctor stepped in. Dr. Mike, a licensed physician with a strong YouTube presence, released a full breakdown analyzing Lunchly's claims.
After Logan shared this image highlighting the nutritional contents and specifically calling out electrolytes compared to a Lunchable and how much better it was with all these electrolytes, I made this little joke about sodium getting rebranded as electrolytes because that's really what's happened. We've taken things like sodium, potassium that historically have been thought of in a very respectable fashion, something you have to do respectable amounts of and be cautious with, is now just considered electrolytes, and it's this big, positive, amazing thing all the time. Logan seemed to take offense to my tweet here, calling me a sports medicine doctor, saying that I can't tell the difference between sodium and potassium. Logan, I assure you, I can. I understand the basics of hydration here, and we're gonna talk about it and dive into this and just my opinion, and not my opinion, but the science on what the deal is with it.
He acknowledged that yes, some elements were technically improved compared to Lunchables, but he also pointed out that the product didn't meet USDA school lunch standards. And when you're marketing to families, wording matters a lot. The details count. At that point, this wasn't just YouTube drama anymore. It became a public conversation about labeling, influence, and where business ambition crosses into ethical responsibility. Then came the moment that really shook things up. Logan later admitted that selling healthy wasn't even the brand's main focus. That raised a huge question. If health wasn't the core goal, why build the entire marketing strategy around it? That contradiction hit harder than any single tweet ever could. Anyone still holding on to the healthier angle saw it crack fast. Before the dust could settle, Dr. Mike returned with a second analysis, and then another medical voice jumped in.
And then MrBeast, this was something that he posted on his account, and this is really the highlight, the crux of this. More electrolytes, Lunchables, yes, hundreds of millions of units. Their product, 80 less calories, 60% less sugar, more electrolytes. So they're advertising that more electrolytes are good. And that is the fundamental problem here and the lack of misunderstanding with electrolytes and hydration that has frankly gotten out of control with just this electrolyte hydration beverage.
Dr. Brian Sutter responded directly to Logan's comparison chart, which highlighted electrolytes as a big advantage. Dr. Sutter said bluntly that sodium being rebranded as electrolytes would one day be studied in marketing textbooks. That line went everywhere fast. In a follow-up video, Dr. Sutter explained that while electrolytes do matter in certain situations, like intense athletic performance, the average child eating a prepackaged lunch doesn't need some specialized electrolyte boost.
Versus Lunchable. Turkey stack of 310 calories.
230 calories.
21 grams of sugar.
Only 7 grams of sugar.
If you look at this close up, you can already tell which one has better.
Meal. The shine started fading quick. By now, the debate had moved way past influencer opinions. This was professional criticism from licensed doctors breaking things down piece by piece. The narrative wasn't just that Lunchly was a little overhyped. It became that the health angle felt strategically inflated, and the public perception shifted almost overnight. Instead of building curiosity and driving trial purchases, Lunchly was fueling non-stop debates. For a brand built on hype, speed, and loyal fans, that's dangerous ground. Under normal circumstances, a company might quietly tweak the messaging, clarify a few claims, and smooth everything over. That would have been the smart play. Step back, adjust, reset the tone. But instead of recalibrating, parts of the trio pushed back harder. Concerns were brushed off as clickbait. Critics were labeled clout chasers. The energy shifted from explanation to confrontation real quick. To his credit, MrBeast handled it more carefully than the others. He pointed out that Lunchables already sells hundreds of millions of units every year. Families buy pre-packaged lunches every single day, with or without influencers involved. His argument was simple. This market already exists, and Lunchly was just another option in it. His argument was straightforward. People are already spending money in that category, so if you offer a version with slightly improved ingredients at about the same price, that could still count as progress. He even admitted clearly that fresh whole foods will always be the healthier choice. That framing felt practical, not defensive. He wasn't pretending Lunchly was some kind of salad bar. He was saying it was a small upgrade in a lane that already exists, and that angle landed better with a lot of people. Logan Paul took a totally different path. Instead of stepping back from the medical debate, he leaned all the way in. He directly challenged Dr. Brian Sutter online, arguing that critics were mixing up sodium and potassium and misunderstanding the formula. Then things escalated. At one point, he called the doctor an idiot. That move did not land well at all. Dr. Sutter responded calmly and methodically. He pointed out the irony of a professional wrestler debating a sports medicine physician about electrolyte science. Then he dropped a detailed follow-up video explaining electrolyte balance, context, and how marketing buzzwords can oversimplify complicated nutrition topics. He kept it measured and factual. For most viewers, the comparison felt one-sided. The optics were rough. On one side, a licensed physician carefully breaking down nutrition science. On the other, an influencer defending branding language. It became a credibility gap moment, and once that kind of gap opens, closing it is tough. Meanwhile, KSI moved in a completely different direction altogether. Instead of staying in the nutrition debate, KSI shifted the focus straight on to Dan TDM, the creator who first criticized the launch. What started as one tweet quickly turned into a long, messy back and forth. KSI questioned Dan's credibility, mocked his past merchandise, and even dragged up old sponsorship deals. The twist? Some of the brands he mentioned were companies KSI had worked with too, and people noticed that immediately. Just like that, the spotlight moved away from Lunchly's ingredients. Now it was all about creator drama. Screenshots flying around, old clips resurfacing, petty exchanges stacking up. The product itself almost faded into the background while personalities clashed front and center. The timeline turned into a battlefield. Then things got even louder. When Kai Cenat announced a McDonald's collaboration shortly after Lunchly's release, KSI and others pointed at it and called out hypocrisy. If people are criticizing Lunchly, why celebrate fast food? FaZe Banks even tweeted that the outrage felt selective, but a lot of observers didn't see those situations as equal. A McDonald's collab is clearly fast food. It doesn't pretend to be anything else. There's no health rebrand attached, no comparison charts claiming it's nutritionally superior. Lunchly, on the other hand, entered the market pushing the better nutrition angle hard. When you frame your product around health upgrades, you invite scrutiny from people who actually study health metrics. That difference kept the debate alive. Dr. Mike circled back in and repeated that marketing language carries responsibility, and then everything escalated again. One of Lunchly's headline claims was real cheese, positioned against competitors using cheese product. That detail sparked a whole new wave of questions. The real cheese angle was framed as proof of higher quality. It wasn't just a small detail. It became a core part of the brand's identity. That claim sat front and center in the marketing. But then customers started posting videos of unopened Lunchly boxes with visible mold on the cheese. And that's when everything flipped.
I think Howard do the first. Is that the non-
These are molded. Okay, so these ones are supposed to be good until December, and we just got them from the store. It says used by December 8th, 2024. And today's date is October 16th. So these are supposed to be good for like another 2 months. This is molded. That's mold.
The first huge viral moment came from Rosanna Pansino while filming a side-by-side comparison between Lunchly and Lunchables. She opened a sealed pack on camera, completely unedited, and found mold inside. You could see it clearly. Instantly, the conversation shifted. This wasn't about sodium labels anymore. It wasn't about influencer drama. It became about product safety. Rosanna posted on Twitter with a sarcastic caption, "Just opened my first Lunchy ever so much. What flavor of mold did you guys?" Then she followed up more seriously, saying, "Seriously, please be careful everyone. This is not safe and not okay, especially for children." That warning spread fast. The reaction split in half. Rosanna is widely respected, but she had criticized MrBeast before. Because of that history, some people questioned her motives. Others argued that one moldy pack doesn't automatically prove a larger safety issue. One comment summed it up: one bad cheese pack doesn't mean the entire brand is unsafe. But then more creators started testing it live. Spicy Cow opened a pack on stream to check. Not long after, BMC went live and also found visible mold inside an unopened kit. The clips spread everywhere. At that point, it wasn't just one isolated post floating around. It started looking like a pattern, and that made people even more uneasy. Now it wasn't just one clip floating around. It was multiple independent instances showing similar problems, different creators, different locations, same issue. Skeptics still pushed back, saying it could be staged. Some claimed reactions looked dramatic on purpose. Others accused creators of chasing views. But as more posts stacked up across social media, the doubts started fading fast. Eventually, the situation escalated enough that the U.S. Food and Drug Administration confirmed it had been notified of complaints, including reports of people feeling sick after consuming the product. That detail alone raised the stakes. This wasn't just internet gossip anymore. Regulators were aware. To be fair, mold in prepackaged food doesn't automatically prove intentional negligence. Supply chains are complicated. Storage conditions vary from warehouse to store shelf. In interviews, MrBeast suggested that distribution factors or shelf conditions could play a role in spoilage. That explanation isn't impossible. The bigger issue was the tone while all this was unfolding. Logan Paul and KSI addressed the situation casually on their podcast, even laughing about parts of it instead of delivering a firm, serious statement. In one clip, Logan mocked Rosanna by mispronouncing her name while discussing the controversy. For a product marketed toward families, that energy felt off to many viewers. Rumors about a recall started spreading quickly. Logan and the FDA later clarified that there was no official recall. But by then, public perception had already shifted. When customers start buying your product just to test whether mold rumors are true, that's not hype, that's distrust. And noticeably, unlike Prime or Feastables, there were no major celebratory sales numbers being shared publicly during this storm. There was no victory lap, no big celebration posts. By most visible measures, Lunchly underperformed. It didn't dominate store shelves. It didn't spark a viral buying frenzy. Instead, it turned into a case study on how fast influencer momentum can flip when trust gets shaky. And Lunchly's struggles didn't happen in isolation. Prime, once pushed as a game-changing drink, was reportedly facing revenue declines in 2025, especially in the UK. Legal scrutiny and labeling debates followed it. MrBeast's earlier venture, MrBeast Burger, launched with massive hype, but later ran into waves of quality complaints and operational issues. When you zoom out, a pattern starts to show. These creators are elite at launching products with explosive attention, but building long-term trust in food and beverage takes consistency, transparency, and discipline. And that's a tougher game. The timing didn't help either. When Lunchly launched, both MrBeast and Logan Paul were already dealing with separate controversies tied to past business moves. Public sentiment wasn't exactly at its peak. Dropping a family-focused food product during a fragile reputation moment? That's a high-risk play. Food connects directly to health and safety. The margin for error is slim. The tolerance for jokes is even slimmer. Lunchly didn't stumble because of one tweet, not because of one doctor, not because of one moldy pack. It was the combination: heavy health branding, public medical pushback, defensive responses, quality control concerns, a distracted reputation backdrop, and a market already feeling influencer brand fatigue, all of it stacked up. Influencer products can rise fast on attention, but attention cuts both ways. If you want more deep dives into internet business drama like this, make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the T-Pulse. Drop your thoughts in the comments. I want to hear where you stand on this one.